You don't need an 8-inch nail to get to the center of a Jello mold. I was with a client yesterday and I said that to him because he was telling me that it takes him hours to get into flow enough to record content. And I was like, oh, what a tremendous waste of time. Because, for instance, this content piece, which I will do in under 3 minutes, I was inside, I remembered this thing I said to him yesterday. I came outside, I hit the button, I started talking. You can find the flow state inside of your content creation process, and this really throws people when I talk about it, especially with video content, because you think there is so much preparation needed. Because every time you go to actually put yourself on camera, you look at yourself into your own beautiful eyes on this screen and you're like, what the fuck do I want to say? Until you then realize, if you even realize this, like, you're the puppeteer of your own mouth, baby. Like, the words aren't just gonna fall out of them. This is the very first thing I've spoken and said all day today, but it was important enough to me to tell you this. So when he told me about the time it takes for him to get into this flow state, I was like, babe, picture a Jello mold. You are trying to like pierce to the very core of it before you start a content piece. And I'm like, put on your ice skates and glide along the top of that red bouncy bitch, because it doesn't have to be that deep. It's so much more interesting to exist at the tension at the surface of the Jello mold as opposed to the thick center of the mold, where you might feel safer because you're ensconced by Jello, but we're kind of like, that's how we're choking. It comes back to an issue of self-trust. You don't think you matter enough to interrupt the silence of the universe, so you think that any and every thought that you share in the form of content has to be so meaningful and impactful and professional and authoritative and be the expert. Babe, what I'm telling you is, when I sit across from my clients over Zoom at least, and I watch them oddly enough enacting like a diet version of them in this deeply impactful content, because what they ultimately did is they like cut themselves off at the pass of their own true honesty and authenticity. Because when you sit there for hours trying to like record a content piece or get into a flow state, what you're really doing is you're not actually feeling into like, okay, wait, I might be ready if I just trusted that readiness contains a lot of unknown and a lot of like blurriness, but you want to be so fucking sure before you hit this big red button, before you say any words, that it's something that you are certain people would not scroll past and that they need to hear, because you are obsessed with the affirmation that external confirmation gives you. And on social media, that's in the form of metrics, likes, shares, analytics, etc. It's not that deep. It's not that deep. The gag too is that you don't make enough content, so every individual piece feels so much more important because of that. I'm telling you, bitch, after like thousands of TikToks and having grown my platform to 900,000 followers across social media, because this shit doesn't just apply to TikTok, like, you should see my shit on Instagram. The truths that you do say are so much more impactful than the things you keep to yourself. If you're like, holy fuck, this bitch called me out, well, baby, apply to work with me